You can hear me. Welcome, welcome. Sorry, I am a minute or two late. Let me make sure that this is working. Hi, Gwen. All right. Let's see if I get it working on here. Go to YouTube. There we go. All right, looks like we're working. How are you guys doing today? Okay, so sorry, I'm like a little bit all discombobulated. It was a bit of a rush to get to the live stream today because we went to get my husband a new phone, and that just took a lot longer than we anticipated. He was really overdue for an upgrade and was having a lot of issues with his phone. So we went there after church to the store, and yeah, it just took a lot longer. So I got back home about 15 minutes ago and then was quick trying to print out photos to do the pages that I want to work on with you all today. And then I also wanted to make a cup of tea because I called this video journaling and afternoon tea. So that means I need a cup of tea to enjoy as I'm journaling and just need a drink because I've been running around. So yes, that is kind of where we're at right now. My background, as you can see, is still in progress. I attempted to start to like just hang with washi tape some images back here that I had. This one is, I think she's called Lori Pemberton on Instagram, is an artist. I love her work, and we bought a piece by her for our library that this is this really beautiful Narnia print. And this postcard piece came as a little freebie, so I just hung that up here. This is an artist that is local to us. This was a free postcard that she had. These are some of my printable pieces that I put onto like a book page, little Let's Be Adventurers. So yeah, this is all I have going on right now. It's not very exciting. So eventually I want to get like a cool shelving unit back here that I could be having like my little box of all of my journaling cards can be on a shelf back here, and then it'll be really easy to just grab it and turn around and, you know, grab some of my materials. That's the long game plan, but right now that's all I've done is put a few little images tacked up there. I had more, but they fell down because they were too heavy for my little washi tape strips method. So eventually gotta put them in frames, hang the frames, and we'll have a nice little gallery wall happening back here and some storage, but still a work in progress. So these live streams are slowly chronicling how we are moving ahead with the backdrop here. But yeah, I hope that you guys are good. Let me know where you are tuning in from. Let me know if you are enjoying a beverage, tea, coffee, or otherwise. And hopefully we can all just hang out and have a good time. Let me follow up. I'm seeing some messages come in on Patreon saying that they're struggling to get in here. So let me just respond to that. Click on the, so yeah, to get in you have to click on the thumbnail and then that should take you to YouTube. I think Patreon recently changed the way that the videos look on Patreon. I noticed that it looks slightly different. It used to like play in the window in Patreon, and now you have to click on the thumbnail and that takes you to YouTube. So sorry as I'm just figuring out some of the technical difficulties here with that change, making sure that people can get here. Let me see, maybe I can copy this link for people and then they can just use that. Okay, hopefully now more people can get on from Patreon. I just stuck the link in the comments as well as on, of course, the post. If you click on the thumbnail, that should take you here as well. So apologies as we wait for more people to be able to log in and join us. I'm just seeing some chats happening that they're struggling to get in, I think, with that change on Patreon. So hopefully it's working for people now. So yeah, let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me know what you're drinking, what time it is where you are. I always find that interesting. It is 2:09 here in the Eastern time zone, Central Pennsylvania. And let me just figure out what I want to do here. So I have my journal here with me. Ooh, I match it today. Look at that. Color coordination happening. That is lovely. Nice olive. So yeah, this is my beautiful cover from Documented Journey. If you are interested, it has a great pocket on the front with this beautiful harvest pattern. And then on the inside is the pattern named Abiding, which is so awesome. She basically named that because of our connection, which makes me so happy because we do a lot of collaborating. So yes, this is called Abiding. And so this has been my journal for this year, and I regret to say that this is all I've done, right? A little intro page, and then I did this page, basically just me venting about how I'm just not making a lot of progress on my book because I feel very stuck in the plotting stage for, I'm basically in the climax finale of my third novel that I'm working on, and it's just a struggle. I did not plot it as well as I thought, and now I'm kind of stuck a little bit. So that's all I've done. And then the pages we're going to work on today, I'm hoping to work together on my New Hampshire trip that we went on. This was in January, so we are definitely playing catch up here, but I printed out all of these great photos from our trip to New Hampshire this year, to North Conway to do some more climbing of the presidential peaks there. So that is what I plan on working today. Hi Jazzica and Miesha, so good to see you. Ooh, nice, 8 p.m. and a glass of wine. That is a nice beverage of choice. I think I could go for that tonight after the day we've had so far. But for now, the tea is hitting the spot, so that's good. Yeah, I'm so glad you guys could join. Okay, it looks like more people are getting on now, so that is good to see. I'm sorry if any of you had some technical difficulties with it. I'm not sure, yeah, why that is. Okay. So let's go tableside in a second here and actually start working in my journal. I'll also show you, I'll give you guys a special sneak peek of my monthly journaling and what I've been doing in here, because I did just finish my January wrap up in here as well. So I'm excited to share that with you. But just a quick reminder for those of you who are watching this after the fact and are kind of wondering why they did not see this live stream come up originally on YouTube. This is a Patreon only live stream, so I share it with my patrons and we all get to hang out and have fun in the chat. We do this once a month and my patrons get to pick the dates and time that we hang out and journal together. And then after 30 days of having the live stream available ad-free on Patreon, I then post it on YouTube. So if you are watching this after the fact, I hope that you enjoy it. And if you want to ever be part of the actual live stream and get to chat and hang out with us, then you would want to consider checking out patreon.com/myabidingjournal, and you can join us over there so that you can be part of the monthly live streams and also get access to all of my printable stickers. So with that out of the way, let's turn the camera around and we will get started with the journaling. All right, here we are at the desk. Let's make sure that we can see well. I think this probably will be good because I feel like this is nice and maybe I'll raise it a tiny bit higher to make sure we get fully in the frame. I'm gonna pull you a little bit closer to me. Okay, so here we are. And before we dive into the page we're gonna work on today, I did say that I would give you a little sneak peek. So here we are in my monthly journal. So far, I just created a little intro page for 2023 because the idea is that with this journal, I'm going to have multiple years in this one journal. And essentially the idea is that I will do kind of annual pages, like goal pages, reading in review pages, that kind of thing. And then I also will have all of my monthly wrap-up spreads in this journal. So for 2023, I just created kind of a little cover page with my sticker from Patreon that says document your life, the ups and the downs, the big moments and the little joys, the successes and the messes, the ordinary and the extraordinary, the past and the present, and all that is still to come. So I was quite proud. I made up that little quote all by myself, and I feel like it's really fun for the journals. And then here is the page that I did for Junk Journal January, and it was a starry theme, and I did that to kind of talk about my 3 main goals, which are mind, body, and soul, working on my novel, exercising and preparing for our big climb in August, climbing Mount Rainier, hopefully, and then studying the Psalms and focusing more on my prayer life. And then what I did that I haven't shown yet, and I'll just do a quick little peek at this, is I created spreads that focus in on each of those goals in terms of my why, what it looks like as an ideal, what the bare minimum looks like, what a routine looks like, any guidelines I have for myself, how I can make it more fun, and then just some fun stickers and ephemera and bits basically to encourage me in reaching this goal. And then what I'm doing is I'm tracking every month any progress that I have made towards that goal. So for here, you can see for hiking, which the ultimate goal is to climb Mount Rainier. We have that scheduled for August, and so we've been really working on training and getting ready for that. I have some mini goals along the way in terms of improving my cardiovascular, heart rate, and oxygen levels, all that kind of stuff, so that I feel more prepared physically for that. And then what I'm doing is I have the little months here where I'm again tracking that. So I have for January mentioned that I summited Mount Adams and Madison. Ooh, sorry, the dog. Must be the mailman. So what I did is, yeah, put the summiting Mount Adams and Madison here for January, and that's actually what we're going to be journaling about today. And then I have my praying routine and how to make it easier, some quotes and scripture to kind of inspire me in that journey as well. And again, then just sort of going to be tracking my progress each month, checking in, which works really nicely because, of course, I check in with this journal every month anyways to create my month in review spread. So this is a little peek at what January looks like. You can see here that I did put in 2 photos and some little descriptions of our trip to North Conway and some of the climbing that we did. We went ice climbing and climbed these 2 mountains. And the idea of this journal is that this is essentially the snapshot of the month as a whole. So things that I want to remember, but maybe a lot of this, in fact, I am not going to do any full spreads of. but I have the option to go into more depth with any of these things in my actual like daily journal. And so that's what I plan on doing for this trip, is really going more into depth in my daily journal with all of the other photos from the trip, more explanation of what happened instead of just this quick snapshot for the month. So that's kind of the idea of the monthly spreads. It also helps over time, I think, to act as a kind of index so that I can, you know, be looking at this 10 years from now and say, when did we do that trip to New Hampshire again? And then I can say, oh yeah, that's right, that happened in January in 2023. Let me go to my 2023 journal and see, you know, what those spreads looked like. So anyways, that is the little peek at what I've been doing so far. You guys, of course, are mentioned here because we reached 180 patrons at one time, which was very exciting. So thank you all so much for your support. It really is how I'm able to do everything that I do here on YouTube. And of course, all the stuff that I get to create for you on Patreon is made possible because of your support. So thank you. So that is where we're at. And now we can get into here with our journaling. So like I said, I again kind of just did a little introduction with the 2023. This was the freebie that I had available at the beginning of the year. So anybody who is watching this video, this is still available for completely free on Patreon. If you go to Patreon and just look at my freebies tag, you'll be able to find this one. And then again, I love this quote from the journaling collection. What did I call that? Document Your Life, I think is what that collection was called. And this quote from Mary Oliver that says, "What is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life?" I just love that so much. So yeah, all of these are stickers from that kit. And then, like I said, I just have a little page I did the other day about my struggles with writing. I love this little girl who's just like totally confused, basically exactly what I've looked like trying to figure out my plot. So this and this sticker here are both from different printable sets on Patreon too. So that is all I've done, friends, so far in my journals. It has been a crazy January, and I've just not been able to spend a lot of time working in my journal. So I'm just so excited to sit down with you all. You guys are my excuse, having this live stream, to be able to sit down and just spend some time journaling. So I have, like I said, all of these different photos that I want to be playing with on these pages. As you can see, given how many there are, I think this is probably going to span more than one entry. Maybe I'll have 2 or 3 entries so that I can really let each, you know, photo or set of photos shine on their own without trying to cram them all into one page. So that is kind of my plan. I also have these ones that I printed out a little bit earlier that I want to use. And then I have a few things that I picked up around town. So the first being this free, I guess it's a bumper sticker for a car, but it was just a free piece available at the International Mountain Equipment store, and it says, "I'd rather be ice climbing." So I was thinking that I could probably just cut that part of this out, maybe the little mountain too, and use that in my journal. Always looking for free stickers of any kind that I can be using in my journaling when I'm traveling. And then these 2 pieces are from a magazine that, again, was a free kind of local travel magazine that they have in a bunch of the stores in North Conway, and it had this really beautiful cover on it. So I had cut that out, and I think that would be so nice to use on one of these spreads. This was one from one of the magazines as well that just said "Soaking in the Opportunities." I don't know if I'm going to use this, but I just thought that was a nice idea as well. And so another example of how you can be using magazines. And then look at this magazine I got. This one again, completely free. This is from Mount Washington Valley. They have this winter, you know, they do different volumes of these magazines in their local area. And so whenever you're traveling, see if they have a free magazine that they put out for their local area, because they are so much fun to collect and be able to then use in your journaling for your travels. So I love even just cutting this out maybe and using Mount Washington Valley, like it's a vibe. Where I love this beautiful cover with the kind of watercolor of the mountains. Even though this is focused on skiing, I can just cut that part out and just use this image here as a background maybe for one of the entries. And then I haven't looked through this super in depth, but you know, there might even be some images or things that they talk about, maybe even some of the restaurants we went to mentioned in here. I'm trying to see if they have like we went to an Irish restaurant while we were there. You know, maybe they would have that in here. I don't know. But I definitely think it is such a good idea to look for these types of magazines when you can, when you're traveling. I'm not seeing the restaurant we went to as one of the ads, but that would be really cool if they did. Here you can see they have the image from the cover on one of the pages too. So if I didn't want the super thick cover, or if I wanted it smaller, I could use that part as well. So yeah, so excited to use this. Look how cute that is. Oh my goodness. I did not unfortunately see one of those, so it probably wouldn't make sense for me to put it in my journal, but wow, he's cute, isn't he? All right, so that is going to be what we're journaling about. Just looking, yeah, I don't, oh, Zeb's. Oh, look. I'll have to use that because this is like a really famous general store that they have in the area called Zeb's. It's so neat inside. So even if I just cut out this part of it, the Zeb's general store, or I could use the image, that is definitely one that I would want to use. I'm gonna rip this out actually so I have it. All right, and I really think I might use the cover of that for something. So let me say hello. Hi, Jewel. So glad you could join again from Germany. You know, these times always seem to work for my German pals because you guys always make it. I love it. I love that the German pals are always here. Jewel and Jazzica. You're always present. We love it.
Hi, Gwen.
Oh goodness. Sorry. It had my volume up. I'm trying to go to the live part. There we go. So I can be following along. All right. So I think for this first page, I kind of like to create, when I'm doing a multi-page vacation or travel entry, I kind of like to have a cover page that's basically an introduction to the vacation or the trip. And so this North Conway piece from the magazine I think could be really nice to put kind of as a split page. I'm thinking like right here. And tape it down on both, and then maybe use one of maybe like this photo. I kind of like that idea, is just using this top photo of the four of us. These are our two friends that we went on the trip with, Scott and Emily. Yeah, I talk about them a lot in my journal videos because they are the two that we do a lot of our traveling with. We're actually going to Mount Rainier with them in August, and we're also going to be going to Ecuador with them in June. So lots of exciting trips coming up. This photo, for some reason, I think I downloaded it before it had a chance to like crystallize. I'm not explaining that well, but essentially when I make my collages, sometimes they take a moment to upload to the collage, and so they can be a little bit grainy, and if I download it too fast because I was rushing, it can become not as clear. So I don't know, I just feel like the image quality did not come out as well as I would have liked, but I'm just gonna roll with it. It's not that bad. It's, you know, it's not like you can't even tell who we are or anything like that, but I do think the image on my phone was a little bit crisper than what it looks like in this photo, but that's okay. Maybe I'll just go ahead and cut some of these out as well. Let me know while I'm cutting away here, because I know this part is not super fun to watch. Normally I would try and do this in advance of getting on here to live stream, but unfortunately I don't always have the time, especially on a Sunday, because, you know, we went to church first in the morning, and then, like I said, we had to run and get Ben a new phone. We even went to the early service so that we thought we were giving ourselves plenty of time to get our errands done, but things always take longer than you think they will, don't they? But yeah, let me know in the comments as we're hanging out here what you are up to. I'd love to know if you are also journaling, and if so, what are you working on? And if you're not journaling, you know, what are you doing? Are you doing the dishes, doing some laundry? Maybe you're just hanging out with your dog on the couch. Let me know. I hope everybody was able to get on now. I did see a comment that one of you is still perhaps struggling to get on a little bit. It seems to work for me just hitting, if you just tap on the thumbnail on Patreon, that it takes you to the YouTube window. Has that been the case for all of you? Does that seem to be working? And then I did put in the chat the link, so I'm hoping that will work. Okay, looks good. Got this one. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask and respond to people in the chat who said that they're still struggling to get on, so I can share the link with them. But hopefully everybody else who wants to be here is here. So Jewel, you are working on your monthly spread for January. That is awesome. I'm really excited to see how many people have been taken with the idea of doing monthly journaling. I did not expect that video to do as well as it did. I was really nervous to even title that video, "This Changed How I Journal," even though it's completely true. I really did not mean it as clickbait, but I still worried that people would be, you know, basically just saying, well, it's not that new of a concept. I never claimed it was a new concept, but that it's something that's really been working for me. But I was really shocked by how many people for whom it was a really new concept and they had never thought of the idea of just doing monthly journaling before and just journaling a review page for each month. Obviously, many of us choose to do more journaling than that, as I'm doing right now, with doing more in-depth journaling for certain things that happen throughout the month, like a big trip. But I think it's really awesome to even just do only monthly journaling. You know, that's still better than nothing, certainly. So here we go. Now we have all of our photos ready to go. We have a lot of photos, so we'll see how many pages we end up wanting to do. But like I said, my concept is to put this magazine piece here, and then I want to do the photo of the four of us, I think, kind of layered up in the corner, since it was the four of us on this trip. And then maybe I'll do like the dates of the trip here, or I could do that here as well and do another title of some kind. I'm not sure. Let me, for now, I know that I want to put this down and I know that I want the photo. So let me start with that. Make sure that this is gonna fold nicely. There we go. So I love that. That's so pretty. And I didn't mean for this to kind of have like this pretty theme of this pink fur going on, but I kind of like how it continues that. And then we will put our big photo down. Again, this is basically just acting as a title page. There we go. And now let me see if I have in here, over here on my iPad, just looking at my journaling notes where I wrote down some of the facts of this trip. I also want to go to my calendar and see when this trip happened, because I honestly don't even remember what the dates were. So the 13th? Yeah, when did we leave? I guess we left that Thursday, so that would have been the 12th. Yep, okay. I have to get myself oriented here with the calendar. So we left on January 12th and we went through the 16th, which was Martin Luther King Jr. Day. That's when we got back. So maybe I'll just write, debating how I want to write this. I feel like I could do stamps as one option. Obviously, I could always just hand letter it as another option. Hello, cars. Nice and loud, thank you. Like these ones are a decent size to write January. And then I could use my stencils, my big stencils for the numbers, 12 to 16. I might do that. I don't know. Or do I want to do the stencil for everything? That's kind of what I'm debating right now. It might be too much though. Like too much big letters because of these big letters. I don't know. Maybe that's overthinking. All right, let's just get out the acrylic block and we will use our black ink, I think. These are the mini essentials from Allie Brown. I unfortunately don't think she sells these anymore, but I really love this set of stamps. It's a really nice size. Where did the J go? There it is. J. Of course, the challenge with January is that the letters repeat, so I'm going to have to stop at Jan-U. I'm going to have to move the A then, but so let's see here. I might want to put something maybe like this under it just to have something hard to press down on, but came out a little rough, but that's all right. At least for this entry, it kind of suits it well to have a little bit of a rugged look to it. Okay, the rest of it. Nice. That almost looks like I stamped it all together. That spacing worked out nicely. So there we go, January. And then I might dry that just because I've been noticing so far in this journal that I think the inks and stuff don't absorb into the paper as readily as what I'm used to with the moleskin. So like even here you might be able to tell I had some smearing because I was writing and it was getting, you know, written onto the side of my hand because I'm left-handed, and I was kind of reprinting it over the page. Those are lefty problems. So once I realized that, I just put a paper under my hand to continue writing, which worked fine. But all that to say, I've been noticing, though actually it looks like it dried. Maybe I don't need to with this. Maybe it's just my fountain pen ink was doing that. Okay, well, I won't bother putting the loud heat gun on if it seems like it dried anyways. That's nice. So I like that, January. And now let's write, do I want to, January, wow, why am I feeling so indecisive today? I don't know if I want to write the date here, like I could write it onto the pink. That actually might look nice. And write 12th to 16th. Or do something like road trip here and then say 12th to 16th. I think I'm gonna just do it here. All right, what pen is this? This is, use my Micron 05. Okay, it seems like that's drying nicely. I'm always so nervous that I'm just gonna totally smear all of my hard work, which tends to take you back to the drawing board. I need a sip of my tea. It's still very hot. I cannot seem to find a nice in-between ground of using mugs that either make my tea cold within a minute and therefore not enjoyable anymore, or keep it so hot that I struggle to even drink it the whole time. All right, 12th to the, what did I say, 16th? Maybe I'll title this page Long Weekends in the Mountains or something like that, and then I could put that, what I'm thinking is that I could put that in this other open space. And it is so lovely out. I'm just looking out my window, this beautiful sunshine, even though it should not be this nice in February, but it is lovely. I will give it that. I'll just use this little end of the 4 to act as my dash. Okay, so there we go. January 12th to the 16th. I like that. I might color in the January. I'll just use like a Tombow here. I have 723, just like a nice pink that kind of matches. I don't know, does this, which pink looks better? I don't really have, I wish I had more of like a peachy pink. Or maybe I could use a colored pencil. Like this one. Ooh, that one matches really nicely. I might do colored pencil instead. And that way too, I don't have to worry about causing the ink to bleed. Using a water-based marker might cause this ink to bleed, but with the colored pencil, I can just color it in without worrying. Sometimes I forget about pencils and crayons and, you know, coloring instruments like that because I get so wrapped up in pens and markers. What's your go-to kind of writing instrument or tools that you use for coloring? Are you also kind of lean towards your like water-based pens, or do you use pastels? I'm glad I went with this. This color matches really nicely. There's something so relaxing about coloring. Go. So January 12th to the 16th, North Conway. I really like that as an introduction. I'm debating, do I want to even put something over here? You know, sometimes I forget about the beauty of blank space, if you know what I mean. And so I can go a little overboard when it actually would be better to just stop where I'm at. But I wonder if maybe just like a best weekend or something like that, long weekend. Remember this, happy. Let's see. There's, I wonder if this one maybe, I feel like one of these ones might have like a good weekend type of sticker or travel. This week, time to relax, travel day, not travel day, travel weekend. This is pretty. It's beautiful here. I could put this like up here, or do I want it down here? I might put this right here. Ah, look at that. This is exactly what I wanted to say. Weekend getaway. Should I just put it right under that? Or is that too... Maybe I'll put it there so it's a little bit off-centered. All right, January 12th through the 16th, North Conway. It's beautiful here. Weekend getaway. Maybe that's it. Maybe I just stop there and let this be a nice little title page, just like that. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna move on before I try to convince myself to add to it, because I think I actually really like the simplicity of the page and leaving some of the negative space, whereas we know I'm not always much of a negative space person. So as much as I really do like the look of it, I think it looks really nice, the negative space. So I'm going to stop for this page and move on. And now we can look at all of our other photos and see what else we want to document. So, trying to think, let me see my notes for our events. So we got there on Thursday pretty late. So that basically was just travel and sleep. And then Friday, we went to Frankenstein Cliffs and did the standard route. And then I guess Saturday we did Mount Willard, which was, where is that? That was a really beautiful climb. Here it is, where we were like just kind of, was it this one? No, this is a different one. This one. This one was Mount Willard. No, that's the same. This is Frankenstein Cliffs. I am confused. Maybe what I want to do instead of trying to figure that out is to instead just create an ice climbing page and then a summit page. I think that's what I'm gonna do. So sometimes when you get a little bit behind kind of in your journaling in general, but especially when it's a trip that maybe you didn't write down all the little details for it and you feel a little bit lost in what happened, it sometimes works better to break things into themes instead of days. So you could do a theme of, like, say you went to the beach. Maybe you do a theme of like all of our snorkeling adventures, and then you do a theme page of the restaurants that you ate at on your trip. So that can work really well. It doesn't have to be travel either. You could do that same thing for your month. Maybe you want to document things that happened in the month, and rather than doing a review page, you wanted to just document all of the people that you saw that month and hung out with. So all of your get-togethers and parties, that could be a whole page. Rather than trying to chronologically put things in order, you can just do it by theme. So I hope that helps somebody as you're thinking about your own journaling. So these are our ice climbing photos. Here, this is ice climbing. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to create 3 different spreads. So one will be ice climbing. That will be this spread. Another one will be our summit of Mount Adams and Madison. And then the last spread will be just like general like trip hangout stuff. So things like the Zeb general store that I mentioned, where we ate, hanging out in the evenings, you know, what that was like, the place where we stayed, which was this little Airbnb. So the fact that we got our car stuck the one day in the parking lot, there literally was a thin layer of ice covering up a super deep pothole that was full of water, and so we broke through that ice, and it basically was like a pond in the middle of the parking lot, and so the car got stuck and we had to have people help us hook up our ropes to it and essentially haul us out. So that was an unplanned part of that day. But yeah, so that, you know, those sorts of kind of little additional trip fun fact memories that I want to add in, I can do on a separate spread. So I think I'm going to do the ice climbing, and I want to use this, of course. Maybe I'll do it at the top of the page. I don't know, but let me cut this out. Where'd my trimmer go? There it is. Try and trim it without cutting the mountain. There we go. I'd rather be ice climbing. How's that for a title? Love it. I'm just gonna stick this right at the top, I think. It's perfect. We love free stickers that fit the theme of our pages perfectly. That is so cool. So yeah, so this was the one that we did called Frankenstein Cliffs. This is our friend Scott. They're kind of hanging on the side of the mountain. Super cool. And then here is me climbing up there, you can see. So we kind of start down here somewhere at a frame, and then you climb up to the top here. Here is Ben climbing, and I'm there helping him as his belayer. So yeah, so much fun. So let me figure out my layout for these photos. We also had to walk across these train tracks, which honestly at times felt a little sketchier than even the actual climbing. So I have that here for these days as well. The problem with when I have this many photos is I want to make sure I still have room to journal. And your room to journal runs out pretty quickly. kind of like this layered look I have. Maybe I'll just do these. I have this one of Ben, but I don't know. I mean, I guess I could stick it. Maybe I could cut it. Maybe I'll do that. I'll just cut part of it off to make it fit nicer. Okay, so I kind of like this layout. I kind of like the way that it feels. I don't know, it kind of looks like elevation, right? Like there's a climb happening in a way with the photos. I wonder if this would look better if I did this. Does that look better, or did it look better like this? What do you think? I'm kind of looking at this space in here, like, do I like it better having it be like this, or does it look better if it's almost like a V from doing the photos in this order? Do you see what I'm saying? Which one's better? I don't know. I'm gonna take a sip of tea while I figure it out. Use the V, it looks like a gorge. That is very true, Jewel. Thank you. That is very helpful. Actually, the one climb that we did was through a gorge, so that works out really nicely. All right, well, we will do the V in that case. I wonder, do I want to get fancy and use watercolors or something like that? I'm not sure. I just feel like I'm gonna need stickers or something. I don't want it to just be photos. Yeah, I think I might do that. Let me pull these off, and I'm gonna sit them to the side, sort of in the layout that I had decided on, so I don't forget. And then I kind of want to do a background. So sorry, that was loud. Do I have water? Is this water? Oh no, I don't have any water. Well, it's a little bit hard to do watercolor without water. So I will be back in 2 seconds. Fam, I'm just gonna run to the sink and grab some water. downstairs, Jean. Let's go downstairs. All right, I'm back. Sorry, I got some water, which I just dripped onto this page. Jeannie very much wants to come in here with me. So I guess what I was thinking is just doing like a general kind of watercolor backdrop. You know, maybe, you know, doing that kind of like icy hues, I guess. But I don't really have an image or anything like that that I want to paint. I just want more of a backdrop. So I'm just gonna try and be like really loose. And layered. I have not done this kind of journaling with breaking out the watercolors in a while. I'm gonna try to avoid the spine and the seam a little bit, because if you watched my journal with me for Junk Journal January, where I did that in my dingbats for the monthly journal that I have, and the paper took it really, really well when I was playing with my color bursts, which you saturate with water and they look really cool. But when I was using it in the spine, it did bleed through the spine onto like different pages, which was not great. Because you're gonna see that on a lot of my entries going forward now in that journal, but it is what it is. Just kind of want it to look like, I don't know, really abstract, dripping ice. It's kind of what we're going for. Some like purple in here a little bit. I don't want it super purpley though, so I'm gonna add some blue. No, this is not the moleskin that I'm using, Jewel. I'm using an Archer and Olive this year for my memory keeping journal. I decided to try something new from the moleskin, switch things up this year. So I have this journal, Archer and Olive, and then my Dingbats journal. And this one holds water really, really well. I mean, as you can see, I'm using a lot of water and there's a little bit of wrinkling, but no bleed through at all, as I'm going to show you. kind of liking the way this is looking. Oh, I think my sleeve got caught in it here. All right. I could just keep playing with watercolor all day, but I think I'm gonna stop it here, she says as she continues to play. Okay, one last mark, because I like to put the water down and then put the color into it, because it just does some really cool effects when you put like water and then color into the water like that. Like, oh, look at that. Look at the way it's like merging and blending. So pretty. Okay, that's fun. So I am going to dry this in order to be able to move on with my entry. So I'm going to use my heat tool for that, and it can be a little bit loud. So this is my warning, especially if you have earbuds in, that you might want to turn down the volume a little bit before I start drying it. So in 3, 2, 1. Okay, I think we're good. Got a little mark up there, but that's okay. So there we go. I'd rather be ice climbing. And as you can see, it did not bleed through, you know, a little bit of warping to your page, a tiny bit, but really impressive that it does not bleed through literally at all. I mean, you know, oh no, this is the only problem, is sometimes when you use your heat gun, it can mess with stickers. So I think this sticker just got a little bit messed up. There we go. Nothing we can't fix. So still looks good. And now we have our nice ice background, which I really, really like how that turned out. So we can just now put these over it. This is how I had this. Something like this. How the heck did I have this? It looked so nice. Okay, I think it was like this, maybe. Yes, it was. Okay. Here we go. So that's what I'm thinking. I don't know if I want to get out, like, I don't know, I can think about it. Like I was thinking maybe a white gel pen or something to outline or emphasize the photos so they don't just blend in so much. I don't know. Let me just move ahead and put these down. Okay, so there's the one side, tea break. And now we can do this side. Okay. That's right. So there's all of our photos down, and I could very easily just leave this page at that and just have my little watercolor background, my photos, a little title, I'd rather be ice climbing, and then do my journaling in here. And that would be a perfectly acceptable scrapbook journal style entry. I do, though, want to write down the names of the climbs that we did. And I want to call attention to them. It'd be nice if I had, like, I'm kind of like this, but they're too small. I want, you know, like a little strip that I can write. Those boxes are kind of too small too. This is kind of cool. Little brackets, because I could kind of write them off of that. I don't know. Maybe not quite right. Kind of like these, but the colors aren't right. I don't know. I'm also not sure that I know which all of these are. So it wouldn't really make sense to like put an arrow and say what mountain they are. It would make more sense to just make a list of them. Maybe I could use this and then list them. Maybe, thinking if I used some sticker paper and then like wrote on it and then boxed it off, and then I put the little arrows to it. I'm not explaining this well, the vision I have in my head, but I guess I would need, okay, let me just see here. Kind of like that, maybe. Maybe I want it messy though, instead of doing it with a straight edge. Maybe it'll look better actually if I just kind of freehand it. and then write in it. So one of them we did was called Frankenstein Cliffs. So like that, Frankenstein Cliffs, and then cut that out and stick it here. That's kind of what I'm envisioning. Maybe I'll use this, maybe I won't. Ooh, dropping things out there. Okay. So there's one. I don't know if it'd be easier to write it first. Left-handed monkey wrench. So you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. I just realized, but basically different climbing routes have different names, and they often are very odd names, as you can probably tell. So that's what these are that I'm writing down. These are the different names of some of the ice climbing routes that we did. Left-handed monkey wrench. And then we did one called the cleft. I like the look of these like messy frames sometimes. Kind of has more of a organic feel to them. And then I guess that's it. Those are the 3 main climbing routes that we did. These 2 were both at Mount Willard, which was cool because that was my first time ever doing a multiple pitch climb to get to the top of a mountain. Usually I just kind of, we do like top roping or a lead climb where you just kind of climb that route and then you rappel back down. But in this case, for Mount Willard, we actually ice climbed 2 separate pitches to the top of them to get to the top of the mountain. And then we just hiked down the mountain instead of just going to a spot and climbing that section of ice and then rappelling. So that was kind of a new experience, which was really cool. All right, let me cut these ones out. Cut this first. one's like right on the edge. There we go. Whenever I print out my stickers, so on my matte white sticker paper, sorry for the dog again, I always save my little scrap pieces that are left over from cutting out my stickers because they're great to use for these kinds of things. You know, if you want a title that's really going to stand out on your page, using the stickers paper and then just making your own is kind of like making your own stickers. It's really nice and handy. Excuse me. So these ones were at Mount Willard. I feel like it's false advertising to put them here because I think this is Frankenstein Cliffs. It's not Mount Willard. But I don't know where my... I thought I had printed out a photo of me climbing, but I guess I did not. This is the cleft here. I know that. Ben is climbing. I guess it doesn't really matter, does it? Whether these are all next to what they are or not. I mean, this is definitely Frankenstein Cliffs. Do that. I don't know. This is not... I don't like how long this left-handed monkey wrench one is. It's throwing off my plan here. I could do that. That doesn't look bad. Okay, I think I like that. I'm just gonna do that. We're gonna put them down before I can talk myself out of it. There we go. Okay, so there are my little titles for the different climbs that we did. And I don't know, maybe I put this here. Let me just cut this out and see if we like the look of that or not. It's very possible we do not. But yeah, I'm just wondering if there's like another little sticker or something I could put on here. I need more adventure-y stickers. Maybe that needs to be a future printable sticker set. I feel like I personally don't have enough stickers to talk about my adventures and travels and outdoor experiences. So I was thinking I could put that there. Yeah, I think I like that. It helps tie the top and bottom together because of having the same style of sticker, same color, same blue. What is that on my page? There we go. Nice. That folds over. I'd rather be ice climbing. And all I really need to do, I think, is my journaling. I was debating if I need like I don't know, maybe like a, I'm debating, like, do I even bother trying to do an ice tool illustration? Or am I just gonna do a poor job? I didn't end up using this. My original idea was that I would put this down and then put these going off of it. That was what I was talking about when I was talking about this sticker, but I think I like it better the way I've done it. So I'm gonna try and just put that back. But yeah, so that's kind of what the last thing that maybe I would want to do is, let me look up ice tool illustration. Let's see if that's something I want to try and draw. I mean, it wouldn't be that hard. Because I could do it kind of like, I was thinking like here in the corner. Would I want to do that in pencil first? Probably. You know, sometimes when you don't have a specific sticker that you would really like, the best thing to do is to look up an image on Google and just draw it, make your own sticker essentially, and put it on your page. So I'm kind of looking at an image here that maybe would work. All right. This is kind of, we're trying. Kind of looks like one. Sometimes they have like a little hook here at the end. Where do I have an eraser? Does this eraser work? I'm a little nervous that it's not going to work very well. Nope. Very much does not work. Oh, here. I have this little eraser pencil. Oh, no. That is not erasing nicely, is it? This is the struggle. You know, this is why I don't like doing things in pencil first. Because every time I struggle. Alright, here are my good erasers. We think. You know, like, every time I just feel like I try and do things nice in pencil first, and then the pencil doesn't even come up. I mean, look at that. It's not even coming up. So it's like, why bother trying to do things in pencil first? It's gonna give you a hard time anyways. All right, I'll just leave myself a little outline. Good enough. This is a horrible rendition. Oh my goodness. Too much pressure, apparently. Not a good rendition. I mean, do we get the idea though? We get the idea. Okay, here we go. Sometimes I feel like doing these little, I don't even know what we call this, like hatching, like hash, is that what it's called? Like hash marks? I know it's like something you do in, you know, like in clay when you're trying to attach things to each other, but I just feel like sometimes it makes a drawing look more intentional. Like more professional. Just put some hash marks on it. It helps to hide the imperfections. we go. A little ice tool up in the corner. Maybe we'll even color it in a little bit just to make it, again, if you color stuff in, you add a little hash mark, suddenly it seems more on purpose. A little gray, a little blue. There we go. Sure. That doesn't look too bad. I am not much of a doodler in some ways. Like I am in some ways I'm good, and then in some ways I struggle, but I was debating if I want to write new tools here. I feel like the space looks awkward in between the photo. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to look at it from afar and decide, but I think I'm just gonna do that. New tools. We got new tools at this IME place, the International Mountain Equipment Store, for $80 for both, so $40 each, which was a huge deal. I mean, they were used and are probably an older generation of ice tool, but these tools, you can easily spend $500 each on an ice tool. Like, that's how expensive they are. So to get ones for $40 each was a huge, huge deal. To give you an example, we were going to rent tools just because we weren't ready to be purchasing our own, but it costs $65 to rent a pair of tools for one day. So we spent, what is that? $15 more, so $80 instead of $65 to own our own tools instead of renting. So pretty crazy. Anyways, that is going to be it, I think, for this entry, and I think for the live stream as a whole. Obviously, I have more photos to do here for our trip, so I'm going to do them either on my own, or maybe I'll film them and do them as just like a separate journal with me that I'll do in these next two spreads, I believe. So that will be fun, but for now, I'm just gonna leave it at these two entries, my little title page for the trip and the weekend getaway in North Conway, and then my ice climbing entry with our fun watercolor background and photos, stickers, and doodles. And then I'm gonna just, yikes, sorry if that was loud. I just knocked over a whole giant stack of sticker books I had sitting on my desk here. But yeah, I'm just gonna do some journaling then in the middle here about our ice climbing on this trip. So that was so fun. Thank you guys for joining me. Let me turn you around as I say goodbye, because we always like to say hello as we're saying goodbye and see my face. But I hope that you enjoyed getting to see this process and that you gained some tips along the way for your own journaling, and especially memory keeping and travel journaling in a scrapbook style. I had a lot of fun creating this with you and getting to use some of the freebies that I had, and then also some of my other supplies as well. So I hope that you enjoyed the process and getting to hear a little bit more about my trip to New Hampshire. And yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me. I know I was a little bit all over the place to start. Like I said, it was kind of a crazy Sunday thus far, but I want to get outside now that it is 4 o'clock. I want to make sure I have a little bit of time in the sunshine. We're going to go for a nice hike as a little family with the pup. But that is going to be it for me today. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for joining me for the live stream. All of my patrons, I am so abundantly grateful for you and your support. Seriously, it means the absolute world to me. And for those of you watching the recording on YouTube afterward, I would love to have you join us over on Patreon as well, so that you can get to access these live streams and hang out with us live and chat and be involved in the comments. But also you get access to exclusive videos and so many printable stickers for your own journaling and the entire community over on Patreon. So would love to have you join us over there. But that's going to be everything today. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, keep exploring your abiding creativity and document a life abiding in faith, hope, and love.